Welcome to Daylight Savings for our fellow New Zealanders. Weekly updates. Shall we move to weekly updates? I think we should do that. I'll do them daily. So today the front subframe came out. We'll use a technical term that sounds fancy, but really it wasn't. It was a bare metal respray. So what that means is the cordless drill went through one or two batteries and a couple of rotary wire buffs on the end of it. I stripped off what was on there and dealt with a couple of welds that needed to be finished off. There, because that was welded when it was in the car, right? Those are the brackets that hold the front transfer case, the mount. So that was sorted out, went through, checked everything else, make sure everything else was all kosher on it, and it's just VHT, right? So it's just literally cheap, nasty, quick paint job. Won't be particularly good as far as long lasting and all that sort of carry on. Does a reasonable job. Can smash it on. It's like, I don't know what a can of that's worth, $18 or $5, whatever it is. It's cheap. Done. So we can put that back in the car tomorrow when it's dry. That's a good start. This has been kicking around ever since I did the four-wheel drive conversion, with paint missing on this mount here and on that clamp on the top of it, and these mounts here had no paint on that, and so it's not the prettiest thing in the world. It's not bad. It's actually, it doesn't look terrible. I'm not sure how it comes across on the screen or on the camera, but in person it's pretty good. I'd say it's about 9 out of 10. You could powder coat it and get just a tiny little bit better than that, and obviously powder coating is going to have far more enduring properties. Inside here, this big blue thing's in the way. It's but really need a trolley to put this car on and put the hoist somewhere else. Inside here we've got some progress, little bit of progress. Shifted the fire extinguisher. Normally that lived on the top of the transmission tunnel and basically under the middle of the dash there. I was going to call it a center console. It's not really a center console, but lived under there. I've moved it to there because lower center of gravity, a little bit further to the left, a little bit further forward, and also got heaps of room, all the room in the world now to do the gear shifting mechanism that we want to do for our fancy HTT sequential gearbox, which is hiding under there that we can't see. So the dash got a few bits trimmed here and there. I didn't go crazy with it. Like I said earlier on, I don't actually even have to run a dash. The car looks funny without it. It looks much tidier with that in there. I'm not sure what it weighs. I haven't bothered weighing it. I don't want to know. It's something that has to be there. I could make a carbon fiber dash, but plastic's pretty light, right? That's why they use it. The brackets that we took out on the side here, I've replaced that one. I'll see if I can show you without even seeing where the screen is. There must be a bracket up in here somewhere you can see. I don't know where it is, but there's an aluminium bracket in there now, and that holds that, and it's pretty good. It does move a tiny little bit, but it's not bad. It weighs next to nothing compared to the big massive chunks of steel that were in there before, so that's awesome. Nothing much happened with the harness. I got as far as I was going to start wrapping up the harness and doing that stuff, and then I was like, hang on, you need to put the dash in and make sure of exactly where everything's going to be, so that you don't put all your insulation on it and everything, get it all sorted and go, yay, cool, and go fit the dash and go, oh, now I have to move that joint, it's in the wrong spot. So that's where we're at there. That is about it. I did not run up the engine today. The poor beastie. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen this, oh gosh, sounds like turning up at a haunted house, doesn't it? If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen this, you should probably go back and have a look at some of the other videos. We've got another subframe in the back here that needs to come out and needs to be dealt with. I'm not going to VHT this one. I'm going to something else. We'll sort that soon. I've been saying it's 700 horsepower. It's 440 something kilowatts at hubs. If you convert that into horsepower and then you give it 1.2%, sorry, one times it by 1.2 with 20% drivetrain loss or 25%, something like that, 700 horsepower at the engine. So people can argue over what the actual drivetrain losses are. That's fair. That's cool. But I'm just calling it 700 because why not? Sounds cool. And if it's not 700 when we run it on the dyno, I will make it 700. We'll just run more boost or something. It'll happen. So 700 horsepower. So there. What we've got is we've got Pulsar turbochargers, GTX 2860Rs. Got a pair of those on there. They're new. They're fresh. They're replacing Garrett GT 2860Rs. So we've got GTX now. So that's cool. We've got that. We've got Wiseco 11-to-1 forged pistons. We've got Eagle rods. We've got ACL race bearings. We've got, forgotten who made it. There's a crank girdle in there. We've got Cometic head gas. No, we're replacing the Tomy head gaskets, I think. We've got Z1. No, there's something different. Here we go. I've got some aftermarket valve springs. Hang on. They might be Tomy as well. What are they? Tomy valve springs. This is, apart from the can of Coke that's randomly there, this is a bunch of stuff that's come out of the car that I won't be putting back in. Kind of want to keep. 1300cc injectors, custom manifold, custom turbocharger, intercooler thing. I don't know who makes this. One of those. The psh thing, my car goes psh psh. Hey, mighty car mods. We've got custom made exhaust manifolds made by me. That's about it really. The engine's actually, it's not really all that fiddled with. It's basically rods and pistons are the bigger things in there. Rods, pistons, valve springs. The rest of it internally is basically a stock motor. So you put a bit of boost on that. Fun things happen. Fun things happen. So, just if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen under here and you haven't gone back through all the other videos, there's a few of them pretty good. I suggest that might be a good idea. You'll notice the engine was obviously in the car backwards. We had the drive pulley on the accessory drive pulley at this end of the car. So this is how it all happens, right? So there's the engine there. It's attached to the vernier bell, which is supplied by the same company, same guys that do HGT precision sequential gearboxes. That's a VQ bell, so it bolts up to the engine. Then we have a vernier adjustment so that when your gearbox goes in there, you can centralize it correctly so that we don't have issues with bearings wearing out and all that sort of carry on. So that's a neat item. I've made some custom shims to go in between the two because I've got a custom flywheel in there. It's not the same setup as a factory flywheel would normally be. So I've shimmed it out to suit. I've also fiddled with some other things. So this is getting a bit dirty. You'll have to excuse me there. A lovely polished, full polished CNC billet case on them. So this turns obviously that way because the engine is in the car the wrong way around. So if we spun our drive shaft the same direction, if we turn that way, we look at our wheels, they're going backwards. So we would have 5 speeds in reverse. So what you do is you build something called or you buy a reversing transfer box. There wasn't anything off the shelf available. I did look at sourcing something from the UK, but the time frame was a bit long and it was quite a large unit. It was going to be very, very hard to fit that in this car. So I spoke with my mates at Kimberley Tool and Design, who had just got themselves a brand new CNC milling machine, and suggested it'd be a good job for that. So I drew this up myself, and Waikato Bearings supplied bearings and seals for it. Cogs and Tauranga machined the gears for us, and then Kimberley Tool and Design finished off the machining to the initial stage. A&H Gears up in Auckland, they did a CNC grind on them to get the noise down a little bit on it. It was quite loud to start off with, but that's what you get. It was sorted out. straight cut gears. They're a bit rough on the surface, to be honest. The lovely HGT precision gearbox behind us there, that has got diamond ground gears to a very, very high quality of finish, so they are much, much, much quieter than what most sequential gearboxes are. Any noises that we hear in this car when it's up and running that sound like sequential gearbox noises will most likely be coming from that. It's unlikely you'll hear the HGT above the scream of this. If you go back through previous videos and listen to it on the track sheet, it's an awesome noise, right? I like it, but she's very loud. So anyway, as I was saying, this has got 2 gears in here, so you turn one way, turn that way, and the other one goes the other way, and the car goes forwards. Just like that. Magic. So we took advantage of the fact that we had to have gears in there, and I adjusted the ratio. So that's got 1.184 to 1 drive ratio in there, which was great when we were running the original Nissan 350Z manual differentials, because of the ratio they had, and the D22 Navara D 5-speed manually shifted gearbox in there. That had very tall 5th gear ratios, 0.75 to 1, I think it might have been, possibly 0.76 to 1. So with all the gear ratios we had a top theoretical speed of 260 kilometers an hour. Changing to the sequential gearbox, which will be able to handle the power and everything and won't explode like the other one was about to do. This has got they do make a 6-speed gearbox. This is a 5-speed one, due to availability and size and my funds, basically. So this is 5-speed. They have a 1-to-1 5th gear, which meant driving it through that transfer box and the differentials that we had, that would have given us 200 kilometers an hour top speed, which is not high enough. I didn't want to build a new transfer box, so we got ourselves some new diff gears through our mates at Nissan King, changed the diff ratios, and we'll run slightly higher revs on the engine, which in theory we've got a peak speed of about 245, 246 k's an hour now. This is why we're doing things with valve springs on the trolley over there, is to help run slightly higher RPM without exploderizing the engine. So there you go. If you're new, you will have enjoyed that. If you've seen it all before, I apologize. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. Check out some of the other videos that we've got. We've got lots of weight saving videos and everything all going on. It's time for dinner. Old mate he's lying big time. It is daylight savings and it's running late. It's probably something like 6:30 now at the moment, so it's time to go inside. Alright, more progress on this soon, and we've got the Nissan Patrol coming back for some more work. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.